Hello there. Welcome back to Billy Ho Sports. Now it's time for some California love. We're heading out west to Delmar. Today's video, we're going to pair up the speed. We're going to feature the grade one Bing Crosby and getting some of that turf and surf. Also included is going to be the Daisycutter. So that's going to be 5 furlongs on the turf. Now, split the pot draw. We will have, I've already made the draw for the Jim Dandy. Released that video yesterday, and I have not checked my email as of yet, but go check out the video and see if you won. I've already got one alternate that reached out, so I do have it will take place no matter what. So Big Ed's on the board in third place, so to speak. But thanks for reaching out, Big Ed. Now, subscribing, liking, leaving comments. Leaving the comment obviously gets your name in the draw, so that's where I get the participants from. So you can tell me what your pick to win the Bing Crosby is, and let's saddle up SoCal style. The Bing Crosby is one of the premier sprints out west, 6 furlongs on the Delmar Dirt Grade 1 purse 400K for 3-year-olds and upward. So we start with Crazy Mason. Kind of a sweetheart horse in my book. I kind of started following him down here. I believe it was probably the Carter was the first time I covered. And I thought, this horse can definitely do some closing. And damn if he didn't. I really didn't think he was going to get him. I admit I did not have him pick to win, but I'm pretty sure I had him in exotics underneath. Just ran down and nailed Quince Brew, who I think I picked to win that race, but closed out very well. And then went back and closed pretty well in the grade 3 True North, which it's funny how you got a grade 2 Carter and then you got a grade 3 True North, but the grade 3 True North was 10 times the race the Carter was. You had Bookham Dano, Mulligan, horses like that. I mean, if you saw Bookham Dano tear ass through the horses last week in his what was it, Amsterdam, he just absolutely peeled out all over everybody. So nothing wrong with running third there. Crazy Mason, it's going to be tough to be a closer. Chris Elliott gets the mount traveling out west. So we'll see what happens. Dr. Venkman, and that's the Ghostbusters Ghost Zapper. That's kind of a neat way to name a horse. You name him Ghost Zapper, and it's Dr. Venkman. So kind of cool there. Mark Blatt trains this one, a staple of the Cali Sprint circuit. Shipped him up to Churchill Downs. I thought give him credit on that. And the Kelly's Landing, he ran really, really well in the Kelly's Landing. And it was him and Roland Big Joe, and we'll talk Roland Big Joe here shortly. But he looked like he had a shot to win, and then he got pinched and squeezed a little bit and had to kind of he wanted to get outside of Roland Big Joe initially, but then got shut off probably by the third horse, Durante. I can't remember if it was actually that horse or not. So had to squeeze back in and got lucky that the path cleared and did have a pretty good chance with some time left on the clock to get there, but could not run by Roland Big Joe. So credit Roland for holding tight. Dr. Venkman's going to be definitely one to consider amongst the top selections. Now, Jazzy is Bob Baffert's horse. This one's had a kind of maligned type of career here. Raced pretty well as a youngster through September 22, 23. Went back and forth during the obvious Baffert suspension and had Yuckteen as mentoring for a while. And then won a big race, optional claiming, and then entered the Malibu, ran really, really well. And then Fred Hooper, something happened in the Fred Hooper. I don't know what it was. No, I didn't see any injuries. I looked all over the place for it, but it just was clear 2.5 down the stretch and then just peed down his leg or something. I don't know, but ran fourth. But I mean, it wasn't that far. I mean, a length and a half loss. But Tumbarumba, Castle Chaos, and Starship all passed him up. So they put him on the shelf for almost 17 months. Then comes back, runs this big 102, and gets beat by I guess it's Mbagnic. So I'm not sure what to say on the first layoff. Evidently, signs point to this horse being very fresh and a sharp workout on the 19th. So dangerous horse there. You never can tell with Bob. Smooth cruising. Congratulations on filling out the lineup. You're not going to win this race. The third by distance in the triple bend, Dr. Venkman, Nysos blew everybody out of the water. Smooth cruising. It was like a 4-horse race, I think. So there were the 2 horses that were DFL and second DFL were smooth cruising, and one we'll talk about in a little bit. So I'm not going to use this horse anywhere, and just I wouldn't advise you either. Now, World Record's a pretty interesting one. Tough loss in the Aristides at Churchill Downs, was beaten by Durant, Kevin Durante, or Jimmy Durante, or Kevin Durant, one or the other. I don't know which way that goes, but Pratt's already in town to ride Niso, so he's going to come back and ride this one too, and really just kind of zigzagged a little bit down the stretch, and then ended up dueling and getting caught going 6 furlongs. So maybe getting out here on a little more speed favoring track can not that Churchill Downs isn't speed favoring when it's fast. It definitely is, but this one's sired by Gunrunner, first in prime power. I don't think it's going to be first on the tote board though, because when you got Bafferts and other horses in here, you definitely want to take notice. But Pratt, Pratt would get a lot more love here in the East Coast than he will out west. So we'll see what happens. World Record definitely wanting that early lead and can blast off out of the gate and run good mid-pace figures. But that dip, this late pace 74 is what cost them. You can't do that in a sprint race. You got to have at least in the 8. If you're going to run this fast early, you got to be 80, 89 like you got it done here, or 93. You want to have that better late pace running instead of just falling off like that. So World Record's in the mix. Here's Roll On, Big Joe. And he did in the Kelly's Landing. He did fight off Dr. Venkman after rewatching that video a couple different times. I don't think that Dr. Venkman gets the W ultimately, but it could have been a lot closer if he'd have got that outside. I don't know what would have happened if he didn't have to redirect back inside and kind of pause momentarily. But I mean, 18 starts for Roll On Big Joe, 7 wins, 6 seconds, and a third. I like the speed, the pressing style. You can see how he's even across the board. I really like that. The 99, 96. I went through and started adding up all 3 of these numbers to see who had the highest figures, and just out of curiosity. And Roll On Big Joe was I think tied for the highest, or at least the highest. But definitely a formidable competitor. Does have a triple digit in a grade 3 Palos Verdes at Santa Anita, so can rock and roll when needed. So we'll see what happens. Robert Hess, Julian Leperoux. Leperoux's gotten it done the past 2 times, so let's see if he can do it again. Number 7, Mbagnic, John Sadler got that claim for 80K. He had to have been happy with that performance since they went ahead and put him up for the claim. Ran a 103, won by a half length. Ran 94 early, 102 mid, 98 late. That's really good. Now you're making a significant jump in class here. And then now we just mentioned the horse that dominated the Palos Verdes by 4 lengths, Roll On Big Joe, and this one finished 4th, lost by 5 lengths. So I don't think that I'm going to go here with Mbagnic. I know he did beat Hijazi but that was the first off that hellified layoff, so I expect better out of Hijazi, and I think that was maybe a peak performance for Mbagnic. I think the first after the claim, Sadler's really not stellar. So we'll see what happens. But new jockey, I also don't like the jockey switch too, so that's kind of where I land on that. Spirit of McKenna was on fire this spring, but that was 2023. For some reason, this race last year, or the Bing Crosby last year, just killed him. Poor guy. I don't know, but something just did not go well. Had to steady near the 3/8 pole. But I mean, it was a monster race with the Chosen Vron and the Anarchist and Dr. Shivel. So went probably in over his head. which would mean probably in over his head here. So I'm not going there. Lovesick Blues, I believe, rounds out the field. Not much of a shot here either. A couple successful outings on the dirt, but mostly a turf runner. Would make a huge jump to hit the board versus a group like this. So I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to land on this, but I know it's going to be one of the four horses. Uh, Number 2, Dr. Venkman just looks really strong being back out west. Number 3, Jazzy, I mean, could just explode into something. I mean, sired by Bernardini. I mean, all the pedigrees there for him, and early speed, sharp workout. So all that points to a stud jockey Juan Hernandez getting a second ride in a row. So all things point to this horse probably having a good chance to win. But then you can't count out Roll On Big Joe. Probably one you're going to be looking for more value. I'm definitely not throwing out Crazy Mason because there's always that chance of a pace meltdown. If there's a pace meltdown, Crazy Mason, I mean, you watch that horse come down the stretch because he's going to be absolutely flying. So it is going to be between one of those four. I may just I'll put something on the ticker tape after I think about it a little bit more, and maybe put together a couple sample bets on that race, and then we'll be back later on in the week because we still have the San Diego handicap to cover. So that's going to be a separate video by itself, and I may put an addendum at the bottom after I look into this race a little more. So set your notifications so you don't miss that. It's also going to be the split the pot draw for Delmar, so you definitely don't want to miss that. So and you never know when I'm going to spin the wheel. So that's all for that race. Then we're going to cover this Daisycutter, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, but we'll go over it real quick, and I'll give you a couple ideas that I have. So let's jump right back into it with race number 9. 5 furlongs is the Daisycutter on the turf. It's going to be fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. And then it's called a handicap, but I went through and, this is just a whole bunch of gobbledygook down here. The rail's at 18 feet. I don't know what that'll mean. I might do a little research into that. Sometimes the rail makes a big difference in turf sprints, things of that nature. So we'll have to see about that. But I'm not going to go get into like weights because I scanned through this and there might be 4 pounds difference in anything, but they're mostly 118 to 120, 117, so 121, things of that nature. So let's get right into it. And visually not a stunning horse to watch in that last race, got killed by 19 lengths. And the connections are off, always far back, poor trainer record. Whenever I see all this, and then I always look at prime power just to get a good gauge. And you have 145, 142, 140. There's a couple of 130s. This one's 119. It's way too small on the prime power. So I'm not going there. And then I'm about to go, and probably is about to go 125. Not much better on the prime power. Pretty weak speed figures. Got rid of Wesley Ward, was able to offload him after the optional claiming win. And then the 9th, terrible in the abundant. So stepping up in class. Off for 7 months. None of that feels good. Love on the run. Doug O'Neill. This one looks good on paper. Got lots of high stuff, jockeys, trainers, sharp workouts, all that kind of good stuff. Freeju, I like him, especially on turf. He's a really good gamer on the turf. So this one might be under some consideration, but I'm not really sure because there are better. The win was off the turf, was on the dirt. So going from dirt back to turf, 12% for Doug O'Neill is not great. So probably not going to make the cut. And neither is Ang and Ash. Was pretty close to 139 in prime power, pretty solid horse. But what I don't like is they're cutting back in distance for a stone closer to 5 furlongs in a speed favoring race. So I don't know how I don't see a path to this horse even hitting the board. So couldn't hit the board going 6.5. How's it going to hit the board going 5? So, did win at 5 way down here at Delmar. So maybe they're thinking that they can revive that, but I'm not so sure that there was much competition in that race. So this one I thought it was she flied, but it looks like she'll flied. I don't even know who comes up with these names. This one might be an outside exotics use. I like the early numbers, the hundreds here, but the late pace is really, really dipping. but they are a mile and an eighth, 6.5. So we're cutting back. This is where I would venture to say returning to a sprint may help. Ran against faster fractions already, plus 11, plus 17, plus 12 coming home in the last race, ran a 79. Got beat by 10 lengths by a horse that came back and won the next race. But they were right in there at the second call and was in the ballpark. I mean, you're talking half the distance. That's 8 furlongs. Well, not half, but a little more than half the distance. So 3 furlongs short, he's in second place, basically. So Drayden Van Dyke, I kind of like him. So outside chance, but here's Uncorked. Now we're getting into the meat. Uncorked is a good name for a turf sprinter. This one likes to lay in wait and then uncork that final drive. Pratt's obviously here to ride Nisos. So D'Amato's like, hey, why not grab him up to pilot this one? So nothing wrong with that. Also cutting back to a sprint, has some really good early numbers and may have a really, really stronger late pace cutting back in distance. So if we can get him up to about a 93 or a 94, Uncorked is going to be right there getting it done. So Pratt aboard, can't go wrong. So that's going to be one of them. And then Spicy Bug, I got something interesting about Spicy Bug. Very good connections. Mike McCarthy has 2 entries in this race. Rispoli, I'll just go ahead and get into it real quick because we'll touch more on this in a minute. But McCarthy trains this one, and Rispoli rode this horse all these times to wins and seconds. And so why is he defecting to go ride a horse that doesn't look as promising? So I don't know if maybe he saw something in the workouts or maybe coming off the layoff. The horse has been off for almost a year. So I'm assuming that maybe Rispoli has seen something in the works saying, I think I got a good shot on this horse, because a lot of times they get their choice. So if he chose this one, then I'm going to have to pay a little bit of attention, even though it goes against my rule of being off that long and then being used. So probably not for the win, though. I don't mind going there in exotics. Now, Chismosa, this is one I'm going to likely fade. Poor trainer win percentage, does have some really good, get some class relief, but just not one that I'm looking at. I don't know why. Well, I mean, all these good races were on dirt, and then you look at the 2 races on turf, and they're both terrible. So I'm not really sure if there's something different about the 5 furlong turf for this one. I don't know why they would make that change. It's 0 for 8 on a lifetime on turf. So if you think if there was some chance, there's a fat chance of it getting pulled off the turf. So I mean, it looks like it's absolutely gorgeous weather in Delmar this weekend. So we're going to go to Granny Bougie. And another one that's kind of cutting back in distance, but is more of a closer. But she does seem to get a little bit closer to the end. So I think that it's possible that this one could be an exotics used, but I'm not looking there. I'm going to go here. Pushiness. Now, if you go look down here, since we're so close, 29 races, there's only 2% from the 8+ poll, but the one win out of the 29, there's only been 2 post 10s out of the 29 races, and it's 1 out of 2. So it has won a race from post 10. Now, post 8, 9, and I guess 8, 9, and 11, or however what you want, is not doing very well. But those outside posts are tough. But this one's got more than enough speed to get there. And with Juan Hernandez riding, maybe it's the style. Maybe Rispoli's more of a tactical jockey, and Hernandez is more of the speed jockey, kind of like a Mike Smith, likes to get him out. That could be the strategy, things of that nature, because you can see these really, really high early speed figures. I think this horse can get it done from the outside, going a shorter distance, probably going to fire off even faster. So pushiness looks just like he's going to be pushing his way across the finish line. I love the sire, Catharos. So anyway, let's wrap things up. Would be an easier choice if pushiness was like in the 5th post or 4th post or something. It would be probably a done deal for me. But like I said, 1 out of 2. I trust Hernandez to do the job. Then Uncorked, I think, will be there right as well. So not making a selection just yet on this one, but it's going to be 6, 7, or 10. And then, like I said, the 5 Shillflied is kind of like a wild card. So I'll probably look to use that one. So that'll do it for the opening Delmar video. Get those comments in so we can get you in the draw for tomorrow, or at the latest Friday. Or I guess tomorrow's Friday. I do get my days confused sometimes. But at least we'll have that draw tomorrow. So don't miss out, and set your notifications, all that good stuff. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate your patience. We'll see you soon.